Good morning, students. Our today's topic in the mathematics O levels is direct and inverse proportion. So first we are going to read the direct proportion. So a direct proportion is a proportion in which both quantities increase or both quantities decrease. For example, if we purchase one bottle, then maybe the cost of one bottle is 100 rupees. If we purchase two bottles, the cost will be double, that is 200 rupees. If we purchase three bottles, the cost will be 300 rupees. It means bottles and their price are increasing at the same time. So these are called direct proportion, and vice versa is also there. So if we purchase right now three bottles, that is costing 300 rupees. If we purchase two bottles, so the cost will be 200 rupees. If we purchase one bottle, the cost will be 100 rupees. So if the both quantities are increasing and if both are decreasing, so that will be a direct proportion. Here is a question. The statement is find the cost of 13 kg of the biscuits if 6 kg of them cost 27. So you can see that if 6 kg of the biscuits cost $27, so definitely 13 kg will be cost more. So look now, here is the solution. So another key point for you is always put the thing that is going to be required, that is required on the right hand side. So look now, find the cost is required. So we will put cost from here to the right side. So look now, 6 kg of biscuits cost $27. 1 kg will be cost 27 over $6, and we are required to find the cost of 13 kg. So multiply 13 on both sides. So 13 kg biscuits will be cost, so multiply 13 on both sides. So 27 over 6 multiplied by 13. Using calculators, 27 multiplied by 13 divided by 6 will make $58.5. So this is the cost of 13 kg of the biscuits. Here is another type of this question, is find x if 30 ratio 50 is equal to 6 ratio x. So the method to solve this kind of question is multiply the extreme values equal to multiply the inner values. So the thing will be 30 multiplied by x is equal to 50 into 6. So from here you can see this 30 will go to the denominator and it will become 50 multiplied by 6 divided by 30. So 0 will be cancelled by 0 and 3 2s are 6. So x is equal to 10. So this is the answer of x. Here is another type of the direct proportion. The statement of the question is if y is directly proportional to x and if y is equal to 12 and x is equal to 4, find an equation connecting x and y. So look now, directly proportional. So when two quantities are directly proportional, they are written in the numerator or in the denominator. Both are written in the denominator or both are written in the numerator. But the easy method is write both of them in the numerator. So look now, here is the solution. If y is directly proportional to x, so look now, this is proportionality sign. So if y is directly proportional to x, so we have written both values in the numerator. The next step will be convert this proportionality sign into equality sign and put a constant k to right side value. So this is the equation which is the answer of the A part, an equation connecting x and y. So this is A part. B part is the value of y when x 5. So from here onward, first we will put the pair which is given. So look now, y 12 when x 4 is given. So pair is given, both values are given. First we will put these two values into the equation to find the value of k. So y is 12. So look now, k will remain as it is and x is 4. From here 4 will come to the denominator, so k will be equal to 3. So this is the value of the k which will be used in the equation now. And in B part it is given that y is the requirement when x 5. So now we will use this equation again. So look now, y is missing, that y is the requirement. K is 3, we will put 3 in place of k, and x is given, that is 5. So after solving it, y's answer will be 15. So this is B part. And look now, C part. Again, the value of x is the requirement when y is 21. So this is C part. So we will use the equation, that is y is equal to kx, and k's value is 3 that we have find. So now put these values into the equation. So look now, y is 21, k is 3, and x is the requirement. So from here 3 will come to the denominator of 12, so x will be equal to 4. So this is the answer of the C part. Here is another question of same category, that is direct proportion. Statement is y is directly proportional to x square and y is equal to 20 when x is equal to 2. So look at this pair, both values are given. Find an equation connecting x and y. So look now, here is the solution. A part. So requirement is find an equation connecting x and y. So it is given that y is directly proportional to x square. So y is directly proportional to x square. So this is the thing which this line is telling us, y is directly proportional to x square. So in the next step, this proportionality sign will be converted to equality, and a constant k will be placed with right side value, and x square is still there. Now in the next step, we will use this pair of the values in which both values are given to find the value of k. So y is 20 is equal to k is missing, and x is 2. So 2 square. 2 square is 4, that will come in the denominator. So 4 5s are 20. So it means k is equal to 5. So the equation will become y is equal to 5x square. So this is the equation which is connecting y and x square. So look now in B part now. Calculate the value of y when x3. So y when x3, and the value of k is 5. So use this equation, y is equal to kx square. Now putting values into the equation, y is missing, that will be put as it is. K is 5 and x is 3. So 3 square. 3 square is 9. 9 5s are 45. So this is B part. In C part, the thing which is given is calculate the value of x when y is 1.25 and k's value is already we have find, that is 5. So again use the equation y is equal to kx square. Putting values into this equation, y is 1.25, k is 5, and x is missing, so x square is still there. So this 5 will come down, come in the denominator of 1.25, so 1.25 divided by 5. This is 0.25 is equal to x square. At this step, take the square root of both sides. So x is 0.5. So plus minus 0.5 is the answer of C part. And in the D part, it is given that it is required sketch the graph of y against x square. So remember, that is very important thing. This part normally comes in the paper and students are unable to understand the part. And normally in the schools, this type of part is not, teachers are not unable to teach the students of this kind of the part. So look now, this statement is sketch the graph of the y against x square. So when the values are directly proportional to each other, their graph is straight line. This is one thing that you have to remember, and the graph always passes through the origin. So look now, here is x square, here is y, so the graph will be of this type. So that will pass through the origin, and the equation is y is equal to 5x squared. This is the equation of the graph. So this is the sketch. A new type of the question in the direct proportion method. The type is graphical representation of the direct proportion. So equation will be given like this: y is equal to x is equal to k, where k is the constant value k. We will find the value of k by using the same method that we have used in the previous type questions of the direct proportion method. So it will become now y is equal to 15x. At this step, now we will let some values of x, 3 or 4 values, for example 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, enough. He has used a lot of values. You will use only 3 to 4 values. And now put these values of x into the equation to get the respective values of y. So here are the respective values. When we will put 0 into this, look, y is equal to 0. When we will put 1 into the equation, so 15 into 1, y will be 15, and up to so on. So 3 or 4 values are required. And then these pair of the values will be plotted on the graph paper to draw the line. So look now. Here is the graph of the question. So respective values of the pair of the values are plotted. So this is the first point, then the second, then the third, then the fourth, and up to so on. 3-4 points will be plotted. The thing to remember in this kind of question is the graph of the direct proportion will always be straight line graph, and that graph will always pass through the origin. So this is the thing to remember. So this is the graphical representation of direct proportion. The next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is inverse proportion. So inverse proportion is a proportion in which one quantity is increasing and the other will be decreased. So look now, and the method to write them will be one quantity will be placed in numerator and the other will be placed in denominator. An example is here. If we want to go from x to y, for example, there is a distance of 120 kilometers between the 2 points, and if we go at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, and the distance, for example, to cover the distance, it will take, for example, 1 hour. If we increase the speed from 50 to 100 kilometers per hour, definitely time will be reduced to reach at the destination, and that will be half an hour. So look now, in this case, if one quantity is doubled, the other quantity is halved. So this is a kind of the proportion which is called inverse proportion, in which one quantity is doubled, second will be halved. If one quantity is becoming 3 times, the other quantity will be 1/3 of the original, and up to so on. This is a type which is called inverse proportion. Here is the first kind of the question in the category of inverse proportion. The statement is, it takes 5 men to paint 2 identical houses in 3 days. Assuming that all the men work at the same rate, how long will it take to 10 men to paint 8 of these houses? So how long is the requirement? So look now, actually there are 3 things involving: men, houses, and days. So the method to solve these kind of the questions, we will write the thing which is required. So how long is the requirement? So it means days will be written first, and out of the other 2 will be your choice, whatever you write first and whatever you write later. So the other thing is men and houses. So men and houses will be written in any of the order. But again, be careful now. In days, the thing which is given will be written in top, and the thing which is required will be written in bottom. So look now, 5 men to paint. So look now, 5 men to paint 2 identical houses in 3 days. So this is the thing which is given. So we have write it here. Now the requirement is, assuming that all the men work at the same rate, how long? So let's suppose X number of days are the required. Will it take 10 men? So 10 men to paint 8 of these houses. So this is the method in the first step to write the values. So the thing in which X is coming, you will always put an upward arrow. Now you will cover this and assume the thing is same. So look now, we will think like, to paint some houses, 5 men require 10 days. And to paint the same number of houses, if there are 10 men, how many days will be required? So if 5 men are painting some houses in 3 days, 10 men will paint definitely in lesser days. So one is quantity is increasing, the other is decreasing. So if one quantity increase, the other decrease, downward arrow will be there. If both quantities are increasing or both are decreasing, upward arrow will be there. So look now, the thing which is not required, first actually we have to put an arrow here. So that's why we have covered this value, and we will assume that this is the same. So look now, to paint some houses, 5 men need 3 days. To paint the same number of houses, 10 men will need definitely less number of the days. So men are increasing, days are decreasing, so downward arrow will be there. So look now, this is done. So now we will cover this. So this is covered. So look now, some men paint 2 houses in 3 days. The same number of men will paint 8 houses in how many days? So if 2 houses are painted in 3 days, 8 houses will be painted in more days. So houses are increasing, days are also increasing, so it means upward arrow will be there. So the next step is, now you will put the value of the bottom of the arrow first and top of the value later, then 4 dots. Again, rule will be same, bottom first, tail first, top later, tail first, top later. So this is the method to write this kind of the question. And now you will multiply the extremes and product of the means. So the formula is product of extremes is equal to product of means. So this is the formula that will be used. Now you will put values here. So these are product of the extremes. So x multiplied by 10 multiplied by 2 will be equal to 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 8. From this step, these 10 and 2 will go to the denominator of the right side. So 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 8 divided by 10 multiplied by 2. So 5 2s are 10 and this is 4. So 4 2s are 8. So 3 2s are 6. So from here the answer of the x is 6 and x is the days. So it means 6 days is the answer. Here is another question from the inverse proportion category. The statement is if y is inversely proportional to x. So look now, if y is inversely proportional, because inversely proportional, so the other quantity will be written in the denominator. So 1 over x. If y is inversely proportional to x, so this is the method to write it down the line. And y3 when x4, a part connecting an equation connecting x and y is the requirement. So look now, this is the first part. The method is almost same as of the direct proportion. You will convert this proportionality sign into equality and put k with the right hand side value. So this is the equation which is connecting x and y. From here, now you will use the pair in which both values are given. So y is equal to 3 when x is equal to 4. So you are going to put these values into the equation. So y is equal to 3, k will be remain as it is, and x is 4. And from here, k will be equal to 12. So this is the value of the k which will be put here. So y is equal to 12 over x. So this is the equation now which will be used in part number B and C. So look at the part B now. The value of y when x6 and k's value is 12. So these are the values now. So now we are going to use this equation, y is equal to k into 1 by x. So these values are going to be put in the equation. Y is the requirement, k is 12 and x is 6. So 6 2s are 12 and y is equal to 2 is the answer of B part. So in C part now, the value of x is the requirement when y is equal to 48 and k's value is given, that is 12. So again, using the equation y is equal to k into 1 over x, putting values into the equation. So y is 12, k is also y is 48, k is 12 and x is the requirement. So from here x will come into the numerator and this 48 will go to the denominator, cross multiplying. And from here you can see 12 ones are, 12 fours are. So x is equal to 1 by 4 is the answer. Here is a kind of the question from the inverse proportion, that is graphical representation. So look now, an equation will be given. First you will find the value of the k by using the same method as you have used in the previous questions of the inverse proportion. So now this kind of the equation will become. Now at this step you will let some values of x, 3 or 4 values are required. So for example, 10, 20, 30, 40 are you have let. You will put these values of x into the equation. Solving it will give you the respective values of y. So look now, if 10 is put into in place of x, so 0 will be cancelled, so y will be equal to 12. When 20 will be put, so 6 will be there, and so respective values of the y will be obtained. Now these respective pairs, so these values will be plotted on the graph of the paper to draw the graph. So 10, 12 is the first point, 26 is the second point, and up to so on. So look now, this is the graph. So this is the first point which is plotted, then this is second, this is third, and up to so on. So points have been plotted on the sheet of the paper, and then join the points with the freehand curve. So this is the method to solve the graphical representation of the inverse proportion graph.